Today we are comparing the iPhone SE versus the brand new Google Pixel 4a. Welcome everyone to Apple Insider. It is Andrew here, and we have had our iPhone SE for a number of months. This thing came out earlier this year, the second generation version of Apple's SE device. But Google has just released, just yesterday, the Google Pixel 4a, which is their low-cost phone. So comparatively, we've got the iPhone SE starting at $399, and you've got the Google Pixel 4a starting at $349. So remarkably similar price differences. We don't have the Pixel 4a yet because it is brand new, but we're going to run it down in this video. We're going to go through all the specs and kind of just give you a high-level overview of these two devices, how they compare and stack up, and leave the deciding to you on which is going to be best for your needs. Both of these phones are building on an existing track record, so neither goes really that far out there in terms of their design. Obviously, the iPhone SE is based on previous generations, and the Google Pixel 4a is also similar to other Pixel phones. Now, on the back of these things, guys, you're going to notice one of the biggest differences, and that is that the 4a is made out of polycarbonate plastic, whereas the iPhone is rocking its aluminum chassis and the glass back, as well as the glass on the front of both of them. Now, the biggest thing with that is it does give the iPhone a bit more of a premium feel, and it also allows the iPhone to have wireless charging. Google did not bring wireless charging to the 4a, so if you're looking for that wireless charging option, that Qi option, you're going to be looking at the iPhone. As far as the displays go, the iPhone is underwhelming. It only has a 4.7-inch display, where the Pixel 4a has a 5.81-inch display. So it is an inch smaller than the Pixel 4a, but on top of that, the Pixel 4a has that gorgeous OLED display, whereas there's still just kind of a standard LCD LED panel in the iPhone SE. So there is a difference in terms of display quality. We're going to have to give the edge to the Pixel 4a here. Hands down, it is larger and it is a higher quality screen. As far as the cameras go, we got a 12.2 megapixel shooter on the back of the Pixel 4a, a 12 megapixel single shooter on the back of the iPhone. Front ones, I believe we have an 8 megapixel and a 7 megapixel, so not that far off between the two, but definitely a difference. Still 7 on the iPhone and 8 over on the Google Pixel 4a. Really similar in terms of camera quality there. It's really going to come down to the software. Of course, we're running Android over on the Pixel, and we've got iOS 13, soon to be iOS 14, over on the iPhone SE. We're not going to get into the whole iOS versus Android debate in this video, so again, just a preference on your guys' part, but it does play a big factor in not just the cameras and the user experience, but in other factors as well. So Apple has done a ton of work, not just with iOS on its own management, but on its own processors. So Apple is using its A13 Bionic processor, the same ones it's using on other phones, while at the same time, Google is using the mid-tier Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G. Now, in any comparison that we have done, the iPhones have always topped out in terms of speed and performance. So when we're comparing Apple's A13 to a mid-tier Qualcomm Snapdragon chip, we don't have our Pixel yet to test, but we're pretty confident that the iPhone is going to win in terms of raw performance. The Pixel is rocking 6 gigs of RAM, which is great. The iPhone is only rocking 3 gigs, so that's definitely a deficiency on the iPhone's part, but because of Apple's RAM management on the A13 Bionic as well as with iOS, we've never had an issue with RAM being a particular bottleneck for us in terms of performance on our phones. So that is one thing that we have not really run into an issue. It's more just a kind of a spec number, but it's all about how that RAM is used, and we see that the iPhone getting by just fine. Now, other internals that we do care about is storage. The Pixel 4a at $349 is starting with 128 gigs of storage, where the iPhone is only starting at 64. Big win over there to the Google side. There is no expandable storage on there. There neither is on the iPhone as well. So starting off with 128 gigs is great compared to 64. Of course, you can upgrade that iPhone SE to 128 or 256 if you need more storage, but it's going to cost you more change. So huge benefit for storage with the Pixel 64. It's better than it was. It's better than a 32 gig phone, but still we wish Apple had started a little bit higher in terms of that entry-level storage. Couple other changes to note: the iPhone SE comes in 3 different colorways. It has black, red, and white. The Pixel 4a only comes in black, so I hope you like black if you're looking for the 4a. The 4a also does not have any IP resistance rating, whereas the iPhone SE is rocking that IP67 water and dust resistance, so you're going to get a little bit added protection here. I'm sure the Pixel is not going to be bad and just allow water in egregiously, but there is no definitive rating on it, whereas Apple is happy to tout that IP67 rating here. So you have some degree of built-in water resistance on the iPhone that's kind of formalized versus what we're going to get from the Pixel 4a. So really, these two phones are incredibly well matched. Both of these phones are excellent phones. The quality of phones that we're seeing at this mid to entry price point are amazing. The iPhone SE is incredible considering it's rocking that A13 Bionic processor and so much other tech in here. The Pixel 4a, it has amazing stuff, good storage, a decent chip on that inside, and still everything it's doing for the AI on the camera aspects is going to be incredible. We've always been happy with the Pixel's cameras. But man, this is a tough call to make if you are completely agnostic between Android and iOS. Very tough call between the two. Obviously, at AppleInsider, we're going to be a little bit more biased towards the iPhone side of things because we do prefer iOS as an operating system. We do prefer its app ecosystem, everything like that, as well as just the phones in general. But, of course, the call is going to be up to you guys. These guys are incredibly well matched, and we are happy to recommend either of them to anyone who is out there looking for a $400 or so device. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, or better yet, reach me on Twitter at Andrew_OSU, and we can continue to talk about the iPhone SE 2020 and the new Google Pixel 4a.